What's up, Aggies, and welcome to your Winter 2017 election special. Today we will help you get to know all the candidates. Let's check them out.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Vandenberg, and I'm the campus news editor for the California Aggie.
All right, let's get started. First up, we have the newest slate, Bespoke.
I think it's really interesting that there's a new slate, especially considering that there's Summit Slate, which isn't in the running this time. I noticed a lot of the Bespoke group are really interested in providing a platform for minorities on campus and those who might not be as represented.
Rahi, a third year, she's trying to get that self-defense workshop started.
Yeah, I think that's a really great thing that would be to be available on campus. That would be free for students. And I think that's something that would really help a lot of students feel safer, especially when they have classes that end late at night, especially during winter quarter.
They do offer those classes in the ARC as a PE class or something, but it gets full first 2 days of pastime. So I feel like just having this more open to everybody, it could be really good for the student body. And I think her allyship workshop thing is also really good.
I agree. I think that's a really great way to get freshmen understanding how to work with minorities on campus and aware of different issues right from the beginning.
Let's talk about the other ones too. We have Rosie, we have Marcos, we have Yahaira as well.
I really like Rosie's platform with the pantry, so she wants to work to increase resources for them. And I think that's really great because there's a lot of students who face food insecurity, and I think that's one way that would be really positive to help students.
I feel like Rosie's also really prepared. Going through her platforms, she has steps that she knows that she wants to take to make things happen for us, and just based on just previous senators, we like seeing the work happen. We like seeing them go, start things from the dot and not just figure things out once they get elected. And that seems very similar to Marcos as well, who works in the Business and Finance Commission within ASUCD. So he has a lot of connections around the units, and he has a lot of knowledge as to what ASUCD can offer to students.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that that's really important as well because a lot of the work that you do is about making connections with people and reaching out to them and working together. So if you already have some connections in place, that makes that aspect a lot easier. The last candidate for Bespoke is Yahaira. One of her main platforms that she's running on is increasing safe spaces for students on campus, which I think is a great idea, especially in light of the recent presidential election. One thing though I would like to see is more specificity from that. Is she planning on increasing the number of safe spaces that are already here, expanding resources for ones that are already here, or creating whole new spaces on campus? And if so, where would those spaces physically be?
So back to base, we have Sam Chang rerunning for a second term.
Yeah, I think Sam Chang is really interesting that she's rerunning because she's one senator that really has worked on getting her platforms done. Last time she ran on a platform of mental health awareness, and she just recently put on UC Davis's first mental health awareness conference, which I think is really awesome.
I know she was one of the favorites last election. She actually made like the all-time record for most votes. Khadijah's really new to all of this, but she has a lot of interesting platforms as well.
Yeah, she wants to double the amount of hammocks on campus, which I think a lot of students would appreciate because those are very hard to come by.
Yeah, I feel like sleeping is super important, but also at the same time, we don't really know what she's gonna do about it, how she's gonna do it, or if it's a strong enough reason to elect her over other people who are probably running on issues that are a lot more pressing at this time. Okay, and we have 4 people from Independent.
One candidate I think that's really interesting is Michael Goffman. He is a first year, so he doesn't have a lot of experience at UC Davis yet, but he really has put a lot of thought into his platforms. One of his platforms is that he wants to increase resources for the pantry, and a way that he wants to do that is he wants to get more reliable donors so that there's more resources coming in consistently. Another thing I think that's really interesting is he really wants all the environmental groups on campus to work together to kind of just do bigger things, which I think is really awesome because we have a lot of environmental programs and I think they could do more if they did collaborate on certain projects.
And next we have Zaki. Zaki wants to represent. We're not entirely sure how.
Yeah, so when I interviewed him last week, one thing that really stuck out to me was that he's put his phone number on his flyers because he wants to be really accessible to students, which I thought was interesting.
I guess my question for him is more on just, is that all? You know, like what do you believe in? What are you advocating?
Right. I think one thing that's really important when you're running for Senate is that even though it might seem like you have a lot of time to get your platforms done, you don't. It takes a lot of time. A lot of senators do rerun because they want the time to finish their platforms, so you need to have a strong basis for how you're going to go about completing them before you go in. Samir Himes, and one of his platforms is that he wants to increase funding for the Entertainment Council so that UC Davis can have more big musical artists come here. One question I do have for that is where the funding for that would come from. I think that is a great idea in that a lot of students on campus really do want more musical artists to come here, but one issue potentially I have with that is where is the funding for that going to come from? The ASUCD right now doesn't really have a lot of money. The final candidate is Frank, and one thing that he wants to work on is having a mentorship program between youth in Davis and college students here.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like that program has already existed in Davis. I feel like what a lot of, just in general, all the senators, all the candidates need to know is just what is available now in Davis. A lot of them want to make all these new programs and new things, but I feel like a lot of them already exist.
I agree. I think sometimes it's working with the resources that are already there, and you can get more done in that way by just working on improving them versus just starting a whole new service from the ground up.
Okay, so moving on to exec, we have two pairs running. One is from base, the other one is independent.
So first from the independent, we have Jas Karan and Zuhair. They have a couple things that they want to do. One is that they want to have improved Wi-Fi at the MU. They want to make the bathrooms better in buildings like Wellman, things like that.
But the one I can't get over is they want to increase squat racks
At the Arc.
at the Arc. I mean, there are things we need, things we obviously would like, but is it really that important right now? The issue right now within our campus is that there's a lot of people are scared, a lot of people are afraid, and we need people who can speak for the student body. And does the student body all need squat racks and like newer bathrooms?
A lot of minorities feel threatened on campus. Undocumented students need our support. Environmental groups. Those are really important issues. Even things like food insecurity, housing insecurity. Those are things that students really need help with right now.
It doesn't seem very serious to me. I'm not entirely sure. And on the flip side, we have Josh and Adila, who are currently senators within ASUCD themselves. Adila actually started the Paid Forward program with the coho.
She has achieved things during her time as a senator. And that's something I really appreciate is that her and Josh both have been senators. They know how Senate works. I particularly really liked the fact that they are focusing on issues that are very prevalent to students right now. Housing, transparency within the administration, which I think is really important right now because we're looking for a new chancellor.
So now that you know about your candidates, time to start doing more research, figuring out what you want to make informed decisions when you vote. Okay, well, thank you, Alyssa, for joining us today. Any last words?
I think all students should really go out and become informed and vote.
Vote, vote, vote.